I was gonna ask, who do you think, if a documentary was made of, will be the most damning? If, like, out of people you know, if they were to make a documentary
Sidney
of?
Poitier.
Wait, what? A documentary made about the legendary Sidney Poitier would be the most damning in Hollywood? That's who Jaguar Wright is talking about? Girl, are you on something or onto something? Apparently, there's more to this man than anyone could ever imagine, because Sidney Poitier was allegedly the P. Diddy of the 50s and the 60s.
Sidney Poitier asked people to buy into the system. Sam Cooke said we need to break the system and create a new one. Who lived?
Child, I know for some people it may be hard to believe that Sidney was an animal like Diddy, but what if I told you that there are family members who are actually backing up Jack's claim that a documentary about Sidney Poitier would be the most damning one in Hollywood? I mean, we already have alleged family members saying that Sidney abandoned and dissed his family and that no one in his family wanted to associate with this man because of his behavior. Like one person wrote in the comment section, "I'm a Poitier, and the things I've heard about him ain't good. He dissed his whole family. He's my grandfather's cousin, and he left and never looked back on some BS." And someone else also said, "Wow, so we are related. My grandmother said the same thing and always got angry if you mentioned his name." Someone else also said that they used to do one of Sidney Poitier's daughter's hair in the 80s, and she didn't have good things to say about Sidney. And allegedly, another girlfriend told her that Sidney once approached her at a party, and it wasn't in a good way. It was kind of like the stories we've heard about how Diddy approached women at parties. So could Jaguar once again be onto something when she says that a documentary about Sidney Poitier would be the most damning one? Okay, for a bit of background about who he really was. When Sidney was 12, he quit school and became a water boy for a crew of pick and shovel laborers. He also began getting into mischief, and his parents worried that he was becoming a juvenile delinquent. So they sent him to Miami when he was 14 to live with a married brother, Cyril. Then in less than a year, he fled Miami for New York, arriving with $3 and change in his pocket, and he took jobs washing dishes and working as a ditch digger, waterfront laborer, and delivery man in the district. Life was definitely harder than he anticipated, because Sidney saved his nickels so that on cold nights, he could sleep in paid toilets. One thing about Sidney is that he knew he wanted to be an actor, and when he read about an audition in New York, he tried his luck, but unfortunately, it was a flop. He only had a few years of schooling, could not read properly, and he had a heavy West Indian accent, and because of that, Frederick O'Neill, a founder of the theater, showed him the door and advised him to get a job as a dishwasher. Well,